My name is Susan Parker. I am 34 years old. 3 weeks ago, my mother threw my sister a surprise party and forgot to invite me. I still sent the gift. I still wrote the card. I still signed it with love. And then my grandmother called and said 7 words that ended 11 years of silence in this family. Come over. Alone. Don't tell your mother. What was inside the cedar box on her kitchen table is the reason I am telling you this now. It is the reason I drove 90 minutes the next morning on a Wednesday in October with both hands at 10 and 2. It is the reason the dining room of my parents' house, 6 weeks later, was the quietest room I have ever stood in. Let me show you. Welcome back to Revenge Finally Stories. This is where quiet women tell the loudest stories, about families, about boundaries, about the documents that finally tell the truth out loud. If this is your first time here, you might want to settle in. Drop a comment when something hits you, and be sure to subscribe before this story is over. I should probably tell you who I am before I tell you what they did. I am a contracts attorney at a mid-sized firm in Hartford, Connecticut. I have been there for 6 years. I get to my desk at 7:15 every morning. I run 3 miles before that, in the dark in winter, in the soft gray of summer. I live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment in West Hartford that I have paid for myself since I was 26. The furniture is from IKEA. The couch is from a Goodwill on New Britain Avenue. I bought it on a Tuesday and reupholstered it on a Sunday, and I have never once asked anyone in my family for $1. My family has a name for this. They call it being self-sufficient. They have called me self-sufficient since I was 8 years old, and for most of my life I wore that word like a Girl Scout sash. I was proud of it. I thought it meant I was strong. I thought it meant I was the kind of woman who didn't need anyone to remember her birthday, who didn't need a hand on her shoulder at her grandfather's funeral, who didn't need an invitation to her own sister's surprise party. I had spent my 20s learning how not to be inconvenient. Apparently, I was very good at it. At 34, I was beginning to wonder when self-sufficient had quietly become easy to forget. I want to tell you I had figured this out before October. I had not. October figured it out for me. Let me back up. Because if you are going to understand the party, you have to understand the parties before the party. My 30th birthday, my mother forgot until 3 in the afternoon. She called from the parking lot of a Costco. The wind was loud. "Oh, sweetie, happy birthday." I was going to bake, but the day got away from me. What about brunch next Sunday? Next Sunday became the following Sunday, became somehow the following March. My sister Vanessa's 30th birthday, 6 months later, my mother catered for 40 people. There was a cake from a French bakery in Avon, a calligraphed seating chart, and an ice sculpture that looked distantly like a flamingo. She had been planning it since June, my MBA graduation 10 years ago. My parents skipped the ceremony for Vanessa's wedding tasting. Sunday, we'll do something Sunday. Sunday became Thursday. Thursday never. I framed my own diploma. It hangs over the IKEA dresser. Standing next to my grandfather's casket at 23, my mother leaned over and asked me to help carry Vanessa's purse because Vanessa was crying. I had a transcript of forgettings. I just hadn't read it back to myself in order yet. I want to be clear about one thing. I never thought my mother was cruel. I thought she was a woman who loved a daughter who needed her loudly, and that I was the other daughter, the quiet one, the one she could rest from. I had built a whole identity around that interpretation. It turns out, the most expensive interpretation of my life. The Tuesday I found out about the party was a Tuesday like any other. Cold coffee. 3 contracts open. Outlook full. I was scrolling Instagram during my second cup. My cousin Madison had posted her story. Balloons in my parents' backyard. A cake. 22 faces I knew. The text overlay said, in pink, surprise. My favorite cousin Vanessa is 31. I zoomed in. My mother was in the middle, laughing, wearing the cashmere sweater I had given her for Christmas. 22 people. My uncle, my 2 aunts, both grandparents on my father's side, Madison, Tyler, a neighbor. The date stamp read Saturday. 2 days earlier. I had not been told. I had not been called. I had not been mentioned. I set my phone down. Screen up. I did not pick it up for a full minute. I looked at the contract on my monitor and read 3 sentences without absorbing a single word of them. Then I picked up my phone and took a screenshot. I texted it to nobody. I just kept it. I finished my coffee. I closed the contract. I went to a 1 o'clock meeting and asked good questions. I called my mother at 7 that evening. She picked up on the 4th ring. Hi, sweetie. Mom, was there a party for Vanessa on Saturday? A pause. Longer than it needed to be. Oh, sweetheart, we were going to tell you. It just came together so fast. Madison posted 3 weeks of planning. Another pause. I could hear her opening a cupboard. Honey, your father and I, we know how you are about big crowds, and you've been so swamped with work. And Vanessa, you know how she gets when she's stressed. She's been going through that thing with Brett's mom. And we just thought, what did you think? She exhaled. The exhale of a woman about to say a sentence she had already rehearsed. I thought you'd be too busy. I closed my eyes. I had heard this sentence before. I had heard a version of it on my 30th birthday. I had heard it on graduation Sunday. I had heard it for 34 years, just rephrased every time. Mom, I needed to know my sister was turning 31. Well, I'm telling you now. Knowing isn't the same as being invited. Susan, please. Don't be dramatic. We're a family. I said goodnight and I hung up first. I sat on the couch I had bought for $200 on a Tuesday. I put my phone on the coffee table. Then I stood up and got my coat. There is a stationery store on Pratt Street in downtown Hartford that stays open until 8 on weeknights. I walked in. I picked up a hand-pressed card, cream linen with gold sprigs. $8. I paid in cash. I took it home and wrote in my careful contracts attorney handwriting, Vanessa, happy 31st. I hope this year brings you everything you want it to. With love, Susan. I did not cross anything out. If you have ever been the calm one in a chaotic family, and felt that calm being mistaken for not caring, I see you. Stay with me. Because 21 days after that party, my grandmother called. And what she placed on her kitchen table that morning changed everything I thought I understood about my own life. Drop a comment if you have ever found something you were not supposed to find. Then hit subscribe, because you do not want to miss what happened in that dining room. The call came on a Wednesday, 7:14 in the evening. I was in pajamas making pasta. The water was just starting to boil. The screen lit up. Grandma Vivian. Hi, Grandma. Susan. Just that. Just my name. No hello. I turned the burner down to 2. Come over. Alone. Don't tell your mother. I gripped the wooden spoon. She hung up before I could answer. My pasta water boiled over and hissed onto the burner. The smell of scorched starch filled the kitchen. She had not asked me to come alone in 11 years. The last time my grandfather had been dying. I left at 5:45 the next morning. The October sky was still that flat purple before sunrise. I had not slept much. I had not packed anything because she had told me not to. 90 minutes of back roads. Route 8 to Route 4 to Route 63, maple trees in their second week of color. Cell service drops in 3 different valleys. I had spent the night running through every possibility. Cancer. Stroke. My mother had done something. My grandmother had remembered something. I rehearsed my face for each one. I am a contracts attorney. I rehearse for a living. I pulled into her driveway at 7:30. Gravel under the tires. She opened the door before I knocked. Wool cardigan. Slippers. Hair pinned back the way she pins it when she has a long morning planned. Come in. Coffee's on. She did not hug me. My grandmother is not a hugger. I followed her into the kitchen. It smelled like burnt toast and lavender. Her percolator was steaming on the stove. On the counter, 2 mugs already poured. On the kitchen table sat a small cedar box. Old wood, dark with age, brass corners the size of a hardback book. I had not seen it since I was 12. Your grandfather kept this on the top shelf of his closet for 15 years. For days before he died, he asked me to put it somewhere safe, and only give it to you when I was certain you were ready. That was 11 years ago. Why now? Because I saw the pictures from your sister's party. And I watched my own daughter laugh in her own backyard, while my oldest granddaughter drank coffee alone in West Hartford. I should have given this to you a long time ago. I was wrong. I am sorry. I opened the box. 3 things inside. A yellowed envelope addressed in my grandfather's handwriting to SP. A small brass key, the kind that fits a safe deposit box. And a folded document, 3 pages, blue notary seal. I unfolded the document first. First codicil to the last will and testament of Theodore J. Whitaker. Dated March 17, 2015. 3 months before he died. I direct that both the real property at 12 Maple Lane, Litchfield, Connecticut, and the personal trust fund, account 4711, A, shall pass directly and irrevocably to my granddaughter Susan Vivian Parker, free of any control, guardianship, or trusteeship by Carol Whitaker Parker. Trust fund balance as of that date, $185,000. I set the document down. Now read the letter, my grandmother said. 3 pages. My grandfather's slanted blue ink. I read the parts about being proud of me. I read the part where he said he had waited until he was dying because he hadn't wanted my mother to fight him while he could still fight back. And then in the middle of page 2, he knew you would be passed over. Your mother loves you the way she knows how, which is less than you deserve. She has always told herself it was kindness, that your sister needed more. It is not kindness. It is a story she tells herself. I will not be here to correct it. So I am correcting it now with paper. The house is yours. The fund is yours. They were always going to be. I set the letter down very carefully. I did not cry. I had spent 11 years being the daughter who did not need to. Why was this never filed? My grandmother nodded slowly. She had been waiting 11 years for that question. Your mother drove to his house the morning after he died. She told me she was going to pack his clothes. She came back with a banker's box. The unsigned working draft was inside. She burned it in her fireplace on a Saturday. I watched her. She slid the brass key across to me. Safe Deposit Box 0731. First National Bank. Asylum Street Branch. Gregory put it there the same afternoon they signed. He told me, Vivian, do not let anyone tell you this didn't happen. I have been paying the box fee for 11 years. $58 a year. $638 total. The cheapest insurance policy of my life. I held the brass key. It was warm from her hand. If this story gave you that quiet, cold feeling of justice finally arriving, you are exactly where you belong. Subscribe so you don't miss what happened when I walked into that dining room 6 weeks later, set the cedar box on the table, and said the one sentence that silenced the room. Share this with anyone who has ever been called the fine one. Drop a comment, and I will see you in the next one.